Well, today's going to be a short video on how I make bottom boards for my beehives. Basically, I have two side pieces, an end piece, and then a piece of plywood. And the plywood, I cut these at, the width is 15 1/4 inches. The length is 21 3/8 inches. And then all of my pieces that go around the sides here for the side rails and the end rails, they're all 1 7/8 inches in height. And then they're cut on the ends for 16 1/4 inches. The sides, the same 1 7/8 inch height, but they're 21 1/2 inches long. Then I cut a groove. Now some people may call it a dado, but technically a dado goes across the grain. But I cut a groove in here. Funny is I cut a groove with a dado blade in the table saw. But I cut the groove, and that groove is the same width as my plywood, so it'll fit right in there. And you get these all stuck in there. Now I have a rabbet, and a rabbet is basically a dado that's at the end of a board or along the side of a board, and then that will fit on that plywood. And these corners here, they'll lock together. And you can staple it or nail it two different ways, however you want. So what I generally do is I look at the side I want to go up, or to be inside my beehive, because I utilize the 3/8 inch. Now this groove here, this is 3/8 of an inch down, and this is just a teeny bit less than 3/4 of an inch. Maybe a little bit more than 3/4 of an inch. And this particular groove, I believe, was like 11/16. They said the plywood is 23/32 of an inch, but if you just cut your grooves, you'll find some plywood will vary. And this piece happened to be, even though it's supposed to be 23/32, it was 11/16. So, but how I'll do this, I'll stand it up the way that I want it to go. You know, this is going to be the top, and I'll lay out my pieces. Now I'll put glue on each piece here. And I use a lot of glue. It's always easy to wipe off the excess if you need to. And I try to get glue right here on these spots too, just to get a little extra holding power. What I'll do is I'll take these, and with the 3/8 inch side facing towards me, I'll put those on and I'll hold them flat down against the workbench here, tabletop. Then this will go on, and those joints will lock together. And I like to push it against the stud here and get it pushed in nice and tight. I like to put two staples here. I'll turn to the other side. Hold that nice and tight. Two more staples. Now while it's like this, I like to keep it against there. Try to keep it square. And I'll use this part of my staple gun to angle it, so I can put a staple that's going to shoot up through here, because get the glue out of the way here. You have a small area here for the staple to shoot, so you want it to go at an angle, so if it starts, you don't want it too close to the end of the wood or it'll split easy. So if you keep it down lower, it'll go up at an angle that way. And that's how I do that. Turn it around, I'll do the other side. Get the extra glue off. And you can see they're down, but they don't come through on either side. And keeping pressure down on there. And you got to remember you have 3/8 of an inch before you get to the edge of the wood, so you want to bring this back. And for me, it's about the level, or the same as my width of my finger there. and that'll get in the center of that plywood. And I'll put 3 staples in. And I'll staple it the same, but I'll put 5 staples on the side. And maybe 6 today. And that'll make a strong bottom board, and you have just well, just slightly over, I guess it is 3/8 of an inch here, or I'm sorry, then you'll have just slightly 3/4 of an inch on the bottom, and the top will be 3/8 of an inch. And this will serve, you can reverse it either way. It'll serve whichever direction you want it. Some people like to use a 3/4 inch entrance in the front, some a 3/8. And if you're going to make nukes, you could do the same kind of thing. You just make them shorter for the width of your nuke boxes. I make my own, and I think the standard size they use is 9.5. I'm not really sure. I make mine 9 1/8 inch wide. So I make mine, I think, a little different than what standard is. That's the bottom board there.